Hi guys, welcome to our second session for week 1 of DES 305. We're going to go through the announcements, our week 1 assignment, and our week 1 assessment today. Our next lecture will be Monday at 6:30 p.m. I will be in the SSC, the Student Success Center, on Thursday from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. and on Friday from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Mountain Time. Our Learning Coaches schedule is posted in our classroom announcements. So if you need to see Christy's schedule, you can find that in the announcements in our classroom. Hi, Sherry. Don't forget about the summer road trip contest. There are a lot of really neat prizes for this contest. It runs from June 12th through September 2nd. All you have to do is log into the Great American Road Trip course in your Canvas account, complete as many or as few activities as you want. Each activity enters you in a drawing you can win multiple times. Prizes include Skull Candy headphones, Amazon Echo Dot, Fitbit Charge, Boss speakers, and there'll be a drawing for grand prizes, an Xbox One S or a PlayStation 4 gaming console. Eligibility for the grand prizes require at least 2 activities per mod. You must have a C+ or better in your class to be eligible to win. So check out this contest. It's basically just something to kind of keep you guys involved during the summer break, because we know the summer break is hard to stay involved. So this contest is kind of to get you to stay involved throughout the summer. Our assignment this week is 2 parts. Part 1 is the website homepage mock-up. In Photoshop or Illustrator, design the interface. Choose a color theme. Keep Independent University colors in mind. You can use Adobe Color CC. It's a great place to pull those colors from the logo and to add colors of your own. You're going to have to include the university logo. You can download it from the assignment. And then you're going to export your design as a PDF. Name your PDF DES 305, Assignment 1, Part 1, your last name.pdf. Do not create any copy. This will be provided to you in Part 2. It's actually provided next week in Assignment 2, guys, not Part 2. Part 2, you're going to create your web page in Muse. Oh no, it is provided for you in Part 2. So all you have to do is set up the basic structure in your mockup. In Part 2, you're actually going to create the design and design the master page based on the design you created in Photoshop or Illustrator. Name your page homepage. Create a second page and name it Degrees. We will return to this page in week 2. Create the header and include the Independence University logo. Add an interactive menu and add different color states for normal, rollover, mouse down, and active. Include the footer from your design mockup. Use public domain images or your own images. Locate 4 images of adults working with computers. These images should connect viewers to the topic at hand. In this case, getting an associate's or bachelor's in graphic arts. Place these graphics in a folder. We will place them in our website in this week's assessment. Add the text to use on the home page, and then name your Muse file, DES 305, Assignment 1, Part 2, your first name, your last name. Submit both Part 1 and Part 2 for this assignment to be graded. I added this in here because of all of my students, this usually seems to be a very big problem. You open your Muse and you cannot see your little header and footer markers. If for some reason yours are turned off, simply go up to View and then go down to Hide Header and Footer, and it will turn them on for you. And you can see it will say Show instead of Hide. It will say Show Header and Footer. And it will turn these little markers on so that you can adjust your header and footer to where you need it to be. So we're going to pause right here and do the demo part 1 of the assignment. So we are going to open up our Photoshop. Let me change screen shares here. Come on. There we go. Switch over to my Photoshop. Now, as we talked about yesterday, you have to determine your screen size. And since you guys are mostly working on laptops, we will do the 960 screen size, and that's what I will demo. That way you can be sure that you can see your entire page on your desktop. So I'm going to make that width 960. And the height, I'll leave at 1024 for now, and I'm going to do create. Now, your web page needs to include the basic things that the Independence University website has, if you want to take a look at that for some creative inspiration. But according to our directions, the page is going to have images, and you're going to have to make your navigation bar. So I'm going to hop over, and we're going to look at the navigation bar for now. And I'm going to go to the graphic arts page. And our navigation won't match this. It's not the same anymore for this class. So we are going to, for now, we'll make 2 buttons up there. They'll get larger. We're going to need one for the home page and then one for degrees. So right now we're going to have a 2-button navigation. And you're going to do your mock-up for your header and your footer. So that's what I'm going to start. I'm going to make a new layer there. And I think we should probably grab our colors first. So I'm going to hop over back to Chrome here. And I am going to open up Adobe Color. So I want to make sure my red and blue match the logo exactly. So I'm going to go to my desktop, TS305, grab my logo and open it. And just and I'm going to save this. And then hop back to Photoshop. I'm going to open my Creative Cloud library. Go down to my colors. And I'm going to make my navigation bar across the top here. That's how I want mine. Yours does not have to look like this. Don't follow my setup, guys. Create your own layout. I'm just going to show you how I'm going to do it. And I want to place the logo in here. And I'm going to duplicate this layer. And make it thinner. And then I need my buttons across the top there. Let's see, we need home and degrees. Definitely not that text. No fill, I just want a stroke. Like that. That's going to be my navigation bar for now. So that's going to make up my header area. So now I need to worry about my footer at the bottom. I want to duplicate this color. Actually, I want to duplicate my small stripe. Command J is the shortcut for duplicating. And I'm going to jump over to the actual school's website and see what their copyright statement says. Because I want it to be exactly the same. So I'm going to copy it. Got my type tool. And for now, I think I'll place it right in this. No, I'm going to go to the left, like that. That's going to be my footer area. So that leaves the rest of my page open to what I need on it. According to part 2, We are going to need footer and a header, and we're going to be using images. We need 4 images of adults working with a computer. And you're going to place these graphics in a folder. We will place them into our website in this week's assessment. The assessment, just so we can skip there so you know what you're doing for your mock-up, we're going to skip there briefly, and then we'll do the demo on that part, but just so that this makes sense to you. You are going to be adding a slideshow. Those 4 images will populate those slideshow. And of course you have text. So let's jump over and share my Word document so you guys can see this text. You have to create this header, define your future, design your future, and then you have to create this paragraph. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this first bit of text here and hop over here and paste it. And I want it to be bold. Too big. And I think we will make it this green shade. You set that color. I need to make this a swatch real quick. That works. We go. So we have design your future. Now that's the heading to the paragraph. So I think I'm going to move this down here and center it. And then copy our paragraph. Switch back over to Photoshop. Grab my type tool. And I'm going to do this in 2 different text boxes. I'm going to do one paragraph in one, the second paragraph in the other, I think. Paste. A little close together for my liking. Let's see if we can push this out some. That's better. So I've ended, but that's not all of it. So let's see. I need to copy all of this. X. I'm going to take my hyphens off. Put this line. And I'm going to duplicate. Put this over here. And copy the second portion. And let's see how much text we have. Ooh, quite a few sentences there. So I want to even these boxes out, and then I think I'm going to have to make my page a little bit longer. I'm going to grab my crop tool, and I'm simply going to make this page a bit longer. And my background is white. I'll pull this down here and realign it at the bottom. And then see how much text is really left in this box for me to be able to even it up. This is supposed to be there. So it looks like I am one line off. Whoops. Let's see here. So just all right. And B. Left a line. That's better. Give it time, it'll get there. It's just simply because it has no images on it yet. Okay, so now we have to find images of people on computers. As I went over yesterday, there's quite a few places that you can find those public domain images from free stock websites, things like that. And you need to download 4 of them. Basically, you kind of want to look for like adult students. Lectures are Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so once you have all your images, you're kind of going to create a bit of a slideshow here. File. And you're going to reshape these images to your desired image shape. I'm going to take my square tool because I want to make a layer that I can easily make these images the exact same size. Turn that rectangle off, selection, reverse. And then I need to move everything down. So my slideshow images will fit across here. Where are you reading that? I'm looking at the live lecture and recording page. It says Monday and Tuesday. Is this what you're seeing? Is this the page you're looking at? My page says Monday and Tuesday. Okay, sounds like maybe you need to clear your cache. Maybe from your last mod, that's what's coming up for some reason. I don't know. I sent out an email with the schedule in it as well. really not liking the way these text boxes look. Do, 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 do. Come on. Do, right. I refreshed our class, so maybe that fixed everybody's. Maybe there was some sort of glitch when I published. Okay, the second paragraph starts here as a graphic designer. There is a basic, okay, good. It's showing the correct days now. There is the basic web layout, a basic web layout. Does that mean I want you guys to copy this layout? Absolutely not. If you turn in this exact layout, you will get a 0. I just wanted to show you what I'm expecting. You don't have to put all 4 images in this mock-up. You just have to show one of your 4 images. And then you're going to do the exact same layout when you move it over to Muse. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And your first and last name. Save it as a PDF. And you have a mock-up. Now, your homepage will have a slideshow on it. So that slideshow has to be somewhere. There's a lot of different ways you could play with this and rearrange it. But you do need a basic setup for your website. And this that I just did is a very basic. I don't want to take your ideas for you, so I'm not doing anything more advanced because students tend to copy what I did. Yeah, Photoshop has a PDF option. So be sure you come out with your own layout. Your header does not have to be at your navigation does not have to be at the top. It can be down here beside your logo. Your logo doesn't have to be on the left. It could be centered. There's all sorts of things you could do to this to make it your own. So be sure you do that. And you may decide to use red on this page instead of the blue Independence color. It's totally up to you. Be creative with it. So then we're going to move over to Muse. And my Muse shut down thanks to Photoshop. In case you guys didn't know already, Muse and Photoshop do not get along so well. It may cause your Muse to be really slow. If that happens, shut down Photoshop because eventually it will kill your Muse. Come on. This covers the part 1 and part 2. Part 1, this covers part 1. Part 2 is doing in Muse, and I'm working on it, guys. Muse is just being not nice to me today. And just as a refresher, let me pull up the slide while we're waiting on my Muse to open again. That shows you guys where you can find free domain images. Come on. There it is. Okay, let's take a look at the slide. You can find public domain images at this web link. And the public domain markets enable works it's basically stock free images you can use on your website. Doesn't mean you can use them in print ads and things like that. Public domain images can be used on your website, however. Make sure that you don't see any watermarks. If the image happens to be on the public domain site and it's watermarked, it is copywritten. Do not use it. Make sure all of your images are watermark free. Wikipedia does have a list of many websites that offer images that are copyright free. You can also search Google for copy free images. And you do that when you type in what you want. If you click on your settings and go to advanced search, right here under usage rights, make sure you mark it free to use or share. If you're wanting to print it on something for a customer, make sure you choose free to use or share, even commercially. And then just click the advanced search button and it will show you images that are free to use, that aren't copywritten, that you can use freely. Find images that match what you're looking for. Adult students using computers. There's several images here to choose from. Okay, let's switch over to Muse and let's start building. So the first thing you're going to do is go to File, New Site. (960 pixels). I want to do 12 columns. Fluid width, band setting, change this to 3. We're good. And it automatically creates your home page. So you have to create one other page that's called degrees. Is that what it said? Yes, it's degrees, not degree. Once that's done, you're going to set up your master page, which includes your navigation, your logo, that sort of stuff. I'm going to pull that down here and give myself some room. And I have a top bar across the top. Creative Craft Libraries. Turn it to my color. And then I'm going to go into the widget library because I need a menu up there. I'm going to grab my horizontal menu, drag it up here. It's 2 buttons. I'm going to size it to meet my box. And make it the same color. It's a little big for me. And I want to change the text to the text I want. Make sure you are using web safe font. That is font that's either found under the web fonts category or your standard fonts with fallbacks. Do not use your system fonts. It exports as an image. You will be counted off for that. Make sure you are using web safe fonts. So there is my home. And I need a little white strip down between them. I'm just going to use my square tool. Yeah, white. And now I need to make this menu interactive. So I have my normal color set. I need to go to a rollover color. And I'm going to change my rollover to white and my text. I need another color. But to switches and my rollover color, I want my button white and my text red. Grab my library panel and free it up here. It'll make choosing my text easier. There we go. Or do I want it bright red? Maybe. I think I like the dark red better. So that was my rollover. And now I need a mouse down color. Text white. And I need an active state color. I think my mouse down is going to be red too. So now I'm going to preview it and just test it, make sure I like that when I see it in the preview pane. That works. And now I need to place my logo. File, place. Get a little spinny dilly. Come on. My logo, open. That's my logo in here, and then I have that thin bar. It runs underneath my header. And so now I'm going to reset that header. I'm going to set it right underneath my little thin blue line that runs across there. So now I need to set up that footer. So I'm going to copy my copyright statement and paste it into Muse. Make it the appropriate size. And I'm going to copy my little divider line. Make sure it's marked footer. Make sure that's marked footer. And then adjust my top footer. That makes up my master pages. That's going to be on every single page I do. So I'm going to close that. And you can see it shows up on all of these pages. I'm going to click my home page. And now I need to put my text in here. I'm going to bring this page down and make it longer. And first I need my heading. Actually, there was a stripe across there. I need to make it first. Here. That. And then there was text inside of it. And that was Design Your Future. And it was Helvetica Bold, Helvetica, and Bold. And such. And then I have my text. Which was those two paragraphs. point, and I'm going to add some space here. And this should be Helvetica as well. And it's a paragraph tag. This should be an H1 tag right here in your text tools. You're going to change that to an H1 tag. Grab the bottom of my page and scoot it up just a little bit. And take a look at this in preview. Now, I'll probably have to make some adjustments once I get a slideshow on here. This looks a little narrow to me. That looks a little better. Oops. Go ahead and bring that out to the edges there. That's going to end up being a lot of white space. I'll grab this and I'm going to group it. Nothing is marked footer, right? No, no, no. So that is my home page. I think since I have active buttons, that little white line looks a little funny there. So I'm going to remove my white line. That will work for now. When I get the slideshow in here, this page is going to be a bit bigger. So let's go back and talk about our slideshow. Our objectives for the assessment. You're going to compare advanced slider widgets and choose one for the home page. Identify and implement interactive elements that follow current best practices in web design. Choose and implement a third-party plugin to use. For the assessment, you will select a slideshow slider and a third-party plugin to add to your home page. Complete the following this week. Select a slideshow slider and place it on your home page. Design the slideshow slider using the images you selected in week 1 assignment. Determine the slideshow slider options. After watching the live lecture, use the Muse widget website or one that you find to download and implement a third-party plugin for the homepage. Download a third-party plugin that is free. Doesn't matter which plugin you use, it just has to be something from a third party. Name your Muse file, DES 305, assessment, and your last name. Zip it and turn it in for grading. Widgets are built-in things like you just seen for the navigation bar. And yesterday when I showed you the slideshows and the forms and all the different, they're just independent doodads, if you will. And you find them in slide bars. You find them in interactive pieces on a website. Those are usually widgets. The more textbook definition is a widget is a standalone application that can be embedded into a third-party site by any user on a page where they have rights to authorship. Some common examples of widgets. Your Twitter widgets. You know, those little buttons you click on to tweet or to like, that sort of thing. All of those are widgets. A Twitter widget displays usually 3 to 5 of your most recent tweets and also provides a link to your Twitter profile so people can easily follow you. The widget pulls information from your Twitter account and updates the feed to the widget in real time. You see music players. Those are considered widgets. Surely you've seen a lot of them. You see them on YouTube. You see them on all kinds of websites. You push play, you can hear music. The calendar widgets. How many of you have been on a website where it showed the date and even the time? Or it had a countdown, so many days until the release of this movie or this book. Those are widgets. You have your HTML code snippet. These are widgets in which you add your own code, giving you complete control. You can display images, add links to those images, embed videos, and do tons of other stuff if you know some basic coding. And then, of course, there's the mailing list. We see those more and more often on websites where it's just a simple, give me your email to sign up for our newsletter, and you don't have to fill out this extensive form. You just enter your email address. All that really is a form. It's just a very, very simple form that has one input box. You can download widgets from Google and the official musewidgets.com, which is the Adobe's official website, but there are tons of third-party widgets, guys. And let's hop into Chrome. If you can search free Adobe Muse widgets, and it will pull up a list of sites that have them. I can tell you from experience that the Muse themes, Muse Free, and QQuy are very reliable sites. They keep their widgets up to date and they keep them working. I actually have paid accounts for those 3 websites, but they offer a lot of free stuff. But let's check out the official Adobe Muse widgets site. You will find all sorts of stuff. Auto gear, cookies, scroll reveal, audio player that we were just talking about. There are endless amounts of stuff in here that you can choose from. There's a print button, your Facebook widget, the snow effect. And there's like 5 pages of these widgets. I'm looking to see, there was a calendar widget in here that was really cool. Widgets don't always stay free in this site. They're usually offered free at first, and if you get them while they're free, that's awesome. And if you don't, they may disappear from these pages, and you would have to purchase that widget if you wanted it after it's already been on here and moved away. There's the countdown. The hit counter tells you how many people are on your website. I don't see the calendar widget in here. Facebook, Anchor. Nope, I don't see the calendar widget in here anymore. Let's see. Well, let me search. Oh, there it is. There's a current date, and a fresh day, and a pick a day. You can click on these and preview widget so that you can see what they look like. Today it's Tuesday. Today's date. This is what they're going to look like. So you can check each one and figure out which one it is you want to actually use on your website. Most of the time, they're pretty close to the exact same. Today's date is, or you can do something like this. I think I'm going to download this one. All you do is do get widget. It's free. Make sure file syncing is turned on in your Creative Cloud app. How to do that? Share my desktop. You're going to open your Creative Cloud. Let me drag it out here so it's an independent window. And share it so that you can see it. You go up to the little gear icon, and you're going to go down to Preferences. There's your General, Launch, Show Notification, Windows. If you click on Creative Cloud, there is an auto sync. On. Come on. I'm already on. I think when you already have yours on auto sync, you're not going to have that option, but it's usually right here under Creative Cloud. I don't know how to turn it off now though. But it's usually right here. So I'm already on auto syncing, so we're going to go back to Muse. And if I go into my Creative Cloud libraries, I haven't ever done one of the new ones. That is a new widget that has this auto sync in it. So we're gonna have to figure out where it puts it. Let's see. Make sure file syncing is turned on in your Creative Cloud app. It is. Where to find it? Will be downloaded to your downloads folder. It was not. Unless, let's go to assets, files. Creative Cloud files. Let's see if I have it in here. Calendar is not here. So either my Adobe is, my Creative Cloud is having a moment and not syncing, but as you will notice, and it's like this on all widgets, there's usually a second location. Down and install another way. Download using Extension Manager. Yeah, see, mine usually does too, but for some reason I'm not showing my syncing being on. Yeah, my sync shows on. There it is now under files, but why aren't I syncing? Because I'm not updating. And now it shows all files up to date. So let's see if maybe it put it in here since then. Nope. Mark it. Nope. Okay, so I'm gonna do download current date. Except for it did not get downloaded to my downloads file. Okay, so let me switch over here. I downloaded it the other way, which opens up the Adobe Extension Manager. And I want current date. So I'm gonna uncheck all of these. It says it's loaded now. Let's see, here's my Facebook. Slideshow, no. SEO, no. Responsive, no. There it goes. It's current date and time. Okay, so that's installed. Now let's see if I can actually find it. There it is, current date and time. Open. It does not put it in here for you. Once you've installed it, you have to click on that little book icon. And then it will stick it in here for you. And all third-party widgets are in your library, not in the widgets library. These are just the built-in widgets. Third-party widgets are found in the actual library heading. So now that I have this installed, I'm going to go back to my master page. And I want to take the current date and I want to put it up here in the heading. Day, month, year, yes. I'm going to use a simple one, day, month. I wish they had one that was month, day, but this will work. To change my text color. Not the box. Come on. Size, I want it smaller. I'm going to bring this down to like 14 point. About like that, I think will work. So that covers the third-party widget. So now you have to pull in, you have to use a slideshow. You can use a third-party slideshow if you would like, or you can use one of the slideshows that are available in your widgets. There are quite a few of them to choose from. I think I'm going to use a third-party widget. I think we'll use the page flip. I'm going to grab it and drag it out of here. And I'm going to resize it. Now, once I've resized it to the area I want it in, I'm going to go over to my transform tools. I'm going to make note of how big this is. It should actually be 960. 960 by 322. So I'm going to hop over to my Photoshop because we have to produce some assets from our mockup. I'm going to grab this picture. I'm going to go edit. I'm going to go layer. And I'm going to create a smart object. And then I'm going to double click on this little icon right here. And it opens it up. Little image size, 960, and this should be 322. Oops, forgot to undo the check mark. 960. This is going to now be my image one. Save as. JPG, desktop, 305. And it's going to be my image one. Save, replace. Okay. And I'm going to use this file to create my other images. Image 2. File. Linked. 3. And my last image. Place linked. File save as JPG. Desktop. Image 4. Okay, so now I have all my assets. I'm going to go back into Muse. I have my slideshow. All of the slideshows will have this same blue dot in the right-hand corner. I'm going to click on it. If it's the built-in slideshow, there will be a folder icon right here. You just click on the folder icon, pick an image, and then go back, click on folder icon, pick an image, or you can pick all the images at the same time. For this third-party widget, though, I have to choose them independently. So I'm going to go to 305, put image 1, image 2, open, image 3, open, image 4, open, trash, trash. I need to make sure I go back and secure my web ready images. This box isn't quite big enough. Uh-oh, what happened? Make sure you get images that are not pixelated. I need to go in and find some bigger images for this. Come on. I'm just going to grab this and pull it up here. Like that. Now, if we look at the preview now, still not quite big enough. Technically, my screen is bigger than 960. If I were to scale this down, this right here is 960 pixels. But I'm on a 42-inch monitor, so all my stuff is much bigger than 960 pixels. That is a third-party widget. Now, you can use the built-in widget. If you grab just like your basic slideshow, I'm going to turn off the previous, the next, the caption, and the counter. And I'm going to resize it. And it's 960 by 322, right? Image size. Yes. Like that. And there's the folder icon I was telling you about. You can just click it and I can choose all of my images. Hit open. And it puts them all in here. So now I can move this stuff up again. And if I go preview, Right now, you see how I stretch across the screen. This kind of makes my page look a little funny. You can fix that. If you go into your master pages, like I have a banner bar up here. Right now, the resize is set to stretch to browser width. I can choose none. 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 So now, oh, I forgot one. That's on my home page. Browser width, resize, none. So now if you see the web page, it's all in line. And so things don't look funny. This is what 960 pixels looks like. Your slideshow can be marked to stretch to browser width, but if it's marked that way, your images must be much larger, which means you want to make your images at least 1280 pixels wide. That will allow Muse to stretch them and shrink them. But again, this is a poor example of an image, guys. It's really blurry. They're really pixelated. I need to find bigger images. So make sure you look at your image quality. If it's not any good, find a new picture or find that image in a bigger size. But this is the basic layout. This is your assessment. This is part 2 of your assignment and your assessment. Part 2 of your assignment is the header and the footer, the slideshow, and putting your other stuff on the page in the middle. The slideshow is the assessment, and the third-party widget is the assessment. What I would do is complete the entire page and turn this file in twice. Once for the assignment, once for the assessment. I'm not going to count off because you've completed the assessment along with the assignment. It just flows easier instead of asking you guys to stop. Save your file once you get the header and the footer done as a separate name and turn that in, and then go back to it. Just do it all and then turn the file in twice. I am very much for making things easier on you guys. So just do the entire Muse file and then turn it in. And just remember to turn it in twice. Once for the assignment, once for the assessment. But you don't need to stop and save it as one file name and then turn around and save it for another file name. I really just like that. So here's the deal, guys. Those of you that are watching the lecture are going to have a much easier time. Save your Muse file as Independence website in your first and last name. That's all I ask for. You will get your name correctly points if it has your first and last name on it, and then name it something like Independence website, because we are going to be using this file all mod long, and changing the name on it every week, it's not going to be the easiest, or you're going to end up with 8 different Muse files, and that's just going to take up room on your computer. So just name it something simple. Just remember to put your first and last name on it, because when I download everything from the gradebook, it just gets downloaded into a folder. I need to know whose it is, so make sure you put your first and last name on it. And then just name it something simple that you can keep using from week to week, so you don't end up with 8 Muse files on your computer, because that takes up a lot of memory. As long as it has your first and last name on it. Yes, Jerry, that's fine. DS305, Independence website, your first and last name is perfect. That way you don't have multiple files, or you're not forced to change the name every week. And very much to keep it simple as far as all the extra stuff and files and things like that. File naming, most important thing to me is your first and last name being on there. because then I know who it is when I bulk download all those assignments. Play around with your layout though, guys. I know you're kind of limited because you've got to have these 2 paragraphs, you've got to have that heading, and you have to have the slideshow. But you can play around with your header and footer a little bit. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but recently navigation bars are suddenly popping up at the very top of the page. That's why I did it like that. It's the latest trend. May not last long, but for now, that is the new trend. So I put mine up there. But that doesn't mean yours has to go there. So just play around with your setup and the way you're doing it. Play around with your colors, that sort of thing, and come up with your own layout. And just watch your pictures. Make sure they're not pixelated like mine. This is a very bad example. I will fix that before next week's lectures. And so far, we have a 2-page website. We will continue to add to this as we move through the mod. But for now, your degrees page is going to be absolutely blank. That's fine. Just make sure you make it. That is part of your grade, is having the 2nd page made. You make it by simply hitting the plus sign. And then find a third-party widget to use. There's all sorts of things, as you saw when I was flipping through there looking for that current date and time. There are all sorts of things in there that you could use. Doesn't have to be a date. It could be anything you wanted it to be up there. They have a blog link. You could use that. I have a third-party blog link downloaded already. Maybe Independence University is going to have a blog. So you can link to their blog. Matter of fact, I think we do have a blog, but I don't know what the website address is. And there's a independent Facebook, third-party Facebook widget that is different than the widget included in your library. This widget actually shows a picture of that company's Facebook profile, of their banner ad, that sort of thing. So it kind of customizes it a little bit. So you could do something like that. And there is the Skype buttons, of course, the mobile drop down, and we will be doing this in coming weeks, so you don't have to worry about that this week. There's SEO stuff you might want to add. That is third party. And then there are tons of gallery, slideshow, third-party widgets. As you saw from the one I put on there, doesn't mean they're going to act exactly the way you want to, but you can download them and try them, install them in your library. They'll be there in the future. Learning how to use Muse is a great skill for you guys because it makes building a website for your customers much easier and something you can do without having to learn HTML and CSS. Any questions? And I know my design is just the kind of boring, simple design, but past experience has taught me that if I do something really intensive here, that students will copy it and you guys fail to think outside the box on your own. So I have learned from experience to keep it simple and allow you guys to be creative and think outside the box without unintentionally copying what I did. Now, I get there's not a whole lot you can do. This is a very professional website because it's a university. But play around with your setup and see what works for you. All right, guys. Well, if you don't have any questions, then we will call it an evening. Don't forget, I'm in the SSC on Thursday and Friday in the evening. And Christy's schedule is posted in the announcements if you run into trouble. Our next lecture will be on Monday at 6:30, 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time. 6:30 my time, 5:30 Mountain Time. Have a good evening, guys. Tamisha, is there something you need help with?